Nigeria's foreign reserves gained $53.6 million in 2 weeks. NNPC to supply 10% of India's crude oil demand. Debt Management Office to auction 145 billion naira worth of bonds next week. Plus, Federal Inland Revenue Service moves to capture additional 25 million people into the tax net. Details of these and more on this edition of Business Express on the network service of the NTA. I am Muplang Dakok. The nation's foreign reserves rose by $53.641 million from $45.046 billion on July 1st to $45.099 billion as of July 15th. Latest figures from the Central Bank of Nigeria revealed that the reserves, which had suffered significant declines in the past, had been maintaining a steady rise. The Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele said with concerted efforts by the monetary and fiscal authorities, it implemented a series of measures which led to notable achievements in the economy, one of which is the recovery of the economy from a recession by the first quarter of 2017. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has intensified efforts in implementing some measures to help in realizing its target of bringing in 25 million more people into the tax net. FIRS Chairman Babatunde Fowler says the plan would ensure that the number of taxpayers in the country rises from 20 million to 45 million people before the end of the third quarter of 2019. The initiative, recently launched in Abuja, has the potential not only to increase taxpayers' base, but to also ensure adequate funding of activities of government at all tiers beyond aid, grants, and borrowing. The dollar steadied on Friday, but was still on the defensive after Federal Reserve official bolstered expectation of an aggressive rate cut this month to address weakening price pressures. Let's see how the naira is exchanging for other international currencies. The federal government has offered for subscription 145 billion naira worth of bonds in its July 24th auction. The offer, circular through the Debt Management Office, shows it will sell 40 billion naira over a 5-year reopening issue maturing in April 2023 at 12.75%. It will also sell 50 billion naira 10-year reopening bond to mature in April 2029 at 40.55% and another 55 billion naira 30-year reopening at 14.8% to mature in April 2049. time. Units of sale is 1,000 naira per unit, subject to a minimum subscription of 50 million naira and in multiples of 1,000 naira thereafter. Now, a young Nigerian, Akomolafe Henrich, along with 129 others, recently made the Forbes Africa 30 under 30 list. Amina Nujem in this report tells us a little about young Akomolafe and his journey to the cover of Forbes Africa.
Akomolafe Henrich is a young Nigerian who is among the 120 singled out in Africa for the entrepreneurship strides. He is a managing director of a company with a business focus in the escalator and elevator industry, construction, real estate, as well as robotics and artificial intelligence. Just recently, Akomolafe Henrich made the Forbes Africa 30 under 30 list. The list celebrates pioneers who are building brands, creating jobs and innovating, leading, transforming and contributing to new industries as well as changing the continent. It is believed that the future belongs to Africa and its youth, while Africa continues to see opportunity where many do not. The select few celebrated in the list represent those individuals who continue to persevere against all odds. It's also a reminder that it is indeed possible. Akomolafe Henrich bagged a master's degree in ICT in 2016. At 26, he used his entrepreneurship spirit to build up a company in less than 3 years. The company moved from 20 employees to 80. He has executed projects for the federal government and other reputable organizations.
Joining us in the studio on Business Express to discuss the place and role of entrepreneurs in economic development is the Managing Director of Acotex Nigeria Limited, who recently made the Forbes Africa 30 under 30 list. Akomolafe Henrich will be sharing his story with us. Welcome to Business Express.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure.
Okay, I guess it won't be out of place to say congratulations.
No, not at all.
Okay, congrats.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's begin this way. Can you share with us how you feel now that you have made the cover of Forbes?
Really, I feel very happy, excited, but not super excited because
okay.
In 2015, I posted on Facebook that I want to be on the Forbes list.
Wow.
And it was all over the social media.
Okay.
And the Forbes list has been on the billionaires list. So when I got to be on this list, it's just a proof that my dreams and my focus are being valued.
Okay.
And being on Forbes list is not just for only me, it's also for the young entrepreneurs and young people like me at the age of 26 to be on this list. So it's kind of like a motivation for all young people in Nigeria.
Okay, so let's travel backwards a bit.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how the journey has been so far to becoming an entrepreneur? How has it been?
Yeah, the journey has not been so smooth because being an entrepreneur is kind of a temporary struggle, and quitting too fast is just going to be like the failure no one wants to hear about.
Yes.
It first started from my educational background because I grew up in a family that everyone is a business. My mother, my father, my sisters, my siblings, everyone are into business.
Okay.
So when I was 8 years, I was introduced into business by my father when we started this Acotex Potato Flakes.
Okay.
And then it was time for me to go when I was about 16, 17 to go into the university. I applied for University of Nasarawa State University. But unfortunately, I was rejected for no reason. I got my post-UME and everything was accurate. Then I had to go to Ukraine for studies. I wanted to be an accountant and an economist because I love economics. I love to be an entrepreneur. So getting to Ukraine, the professor said the degree, the department is filled up. I have to study computer engineering. Okay. And I was like, how can I study computer engineering when I'm just a hard student? I don't really have any background in physics. So he said he's going to give me 1 week to go practice, learn some things in physics, and then he's going to give me an aptitude test.
So how has it been now that you've studied ICT? Does it have any impact on your business?
Yeah, definitely, because if I was an economist, I would really have a lot knowledge of engineering because now I'm into the elevator and escalator industry.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was studying ITC in Spain, I had to move to a manufacturing industry in Spain to really understand what the process of manufacturing elevator is. So ICT and business knowledge has really had a lot of values to me.
Okay. So can you tell us, you said you had some challenges, so apart from the schooling challenge, what other hands-on challenge do you face now?
Presently?
Yes, in the business.
Really, in business, there's definitely up and down. When you talk about the financial market, there's up and down. So, and you get more values when the stock market is below. So, definitely, I've gotten a lot of challenge in terms of technicalities, because in the university, the elevator business is really very highly skilled job requirement, and there's no employment in terms of getting the skills from these young guys. So when you're a mechanical engineer and then you want to employ a mechanical engineer into an elevator industry, he's a mechanical engineer, but he really doesn't understand what an elevator is. So it takes a lot of time for me to train all these young entrepreneurs, young engineers, to be able to get the required skills. So that has been one of my major challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So did you ever lose hope at any point? And then what are your motivations?
Really, I've never lost hope, because I've always tried to push. So losing hope has never been an option for me. And one of my major motivation is when I get a lot of contracts, because I've been working for years with
brings in the money.
Yeah, when I bring in the money, so it gives me that hope again. And I've lost some zeal sometimes when I lose some jobs, and maybe when I get to the job, when I want to get a job, and then a non-indigenous company comes, takes the job, and I'm a Nigerian and all those stuff like that. But I don't let that to affect me, so I've been pushing right from time, and I thank God everything has been moving well. Okay.
So can you tell us what are your thoughts or your feeling about the Nigerian investment climate? What do you think?
That is a very interesting question.
Yes.
Nigeria is a very blessed country in terms of human resources. Our population is one of our gold.
Yes.
But with Nigeria, when you talk about Nigeria has very cheap labor, just like China. You see a lot of manufacturing companies in China. Nigeria also have the possibility to do like that. But one of the major challenges is in terms of security, in terms of power. This has been our major factor in terms of investors coming into Nigeria. But without hope, if our government could look into that, I think Nigeria is going to be blessed, because the resources, the manpower is available in Nigeria.
Okay. What about do you think that the federal government's ease of doing business is the move? Do you think it's helping businesses, small ones, to grow?
Yeah, you know, the future of a country is not really on the big companies. It's on the medium and the small and medium enterprise. And the government have not really focused on the small and medium enterprise. If the government can look into that and leave the bigger companies to grow on their own and focus on those small enterprise, like giving them funds, giving them access to fund, currency, giving them access to foreign currency, I think the country the sector is going to grow very fast.
Okay, let's go back to the Forbes magazine, the 30 under 30.
Yes.
I'm sure you must have made or you must have met other young Nigerians.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you learn from some of them?
Yeah, when I was in South Africa, because we are about 120 young entrepreneurs all over Africa, I just checked the WhatsApp group. I added all the Nigerians into one group to have personal conversation with each of them. And a few of them were in South Africa, although all of them wanted to be in South Africa, but it was quite very difficult to get the South African visa. So about 6 of them, we're 27 on the list, so 6 came to South Africa, so we met one-on-one, and I was so amazed that a lot of Nigerians, young Nigerians, are doing incredible things. Like Chinedu is disrupting the transportation system using Okada. Nola is into real estate, and there's even a girl that bakes cake. So these people are doing a lot of incredible things. So 27 of us, it was really very, very nice to have a conversation one-on-one, and it's not just for us, but it gives the young ones hope also. Okay. And even the other African countries, I had a lot of conversation with the guy from Kenya that is into fintech, and some other guys into agriculture from South Africa, and we became families, and interaction, inter-business, and so on and so forth.
Okay, let's still talk about role modeling.
Yes.
So do you have a role model? Can you tell us who your role model is?
I'm a role model. First of all, I'm a Catholic, so my first role model is God.
Okay.
And then my second role model is my father.
Okay.
Because without my father, he has given me that independent system for me to strive, for me to do a lot of things. I was independent right from when I was 8 years old. So I really appreciate him for giving me the opportunity for me to learn business, for me to be able to do my free roles.
Okay. So what do you think about skills and education? How important are they?
Skills and education, you know, it's just like having a car without a driver. The car is the education, the driver is the skills. So both of them are so essential in the society we are today.
Okay.
If you have an education with no skills, because presently now you see a Tyler, he has the skills but he doesn't have the education. And most of the guys, most of the young entrepreneurs, they will say the painting is for uneducated people, but which is not true. There's a guy on Forbes list, which is also Jaja Bright, which is into iCreate. He empowers a lot of young people, you know, people that are innovative, people that are educated but no skills. So if our government can look into that, giving education and then giving skills to these people, employment will be everywhere.
All right. Let's talk about capital.
Yes.
A lot of young people want to go into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
But what they are usually afraid of or they fear is lack of capital. What do you think about lack of capital vis-a-vis skill?
The thing is, if you have skills, definitely, or idea, people will be interested in it to invest in you. You can't just sit down and then you're looking for capital with no idea, with no innovation or anything. There are a lot of people. If you pitch to one of, it's just meeting a billionaire in a plane and then you're looking for employment. But if you tell him, hey, sir, I have an idea, the first thing is, if the idea is quite interesting, it's going to invest in you. So we don't need to wait for our government to look for funds for us. We can also generate our funds ourselves.
Okay. Let's have your closing spots for young Nigerians. What are your thoughts for young Nigerians, especially those who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs?
The first thing I tell them is to remain focused, because there's nothing as potent as a focused life. You can even see focus in sun. When the sun is being focused on a magnifying glass, it can set paper on fire. So once you're focused and you have everything you want in life. So it's really interesting for you to be focused, for you to be able to win. So that's my major advice I have for young people. And also, I will also want to use this medium to tell young people to focus on positivity, not on negativities on social media, because you see young people just sit down on social media looking for negative news. But when we get the positivities on social media, we strive hard.
Okay. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Akomolafe Heinrich. Thank you so much for coming on Business Express.
Thank you.
All right. Gold on Friday surpassed the key $1,450 level for the first time since May 2013. Let's see how other commodities are faring on the global markets. The African Development Bank and other donor agencies are mobilizing for $1 billion support to boost African food production. This is as a result of the $35 billion the continent is spending annually to import food.
Okay, first, African agriculture has not developed to the level that it should. We're not producing enough food, and that is the reason why we still import food into Africa. So, number one thing to do is to increase productivity. If we're able to increase productivity, it means we will have a large quantity of food produced that needs to be preserved. We need to prevent the increased food produced from getting rotting and wasted. So post-harvest loss is a major issue for us in Africa. So processing is important to ensure that we do not lose what we produced, number one. Number two, for a commodity to become an industrial commodity, that commodity has to be converted or transformed from its natural form from the farm to a stable form that the industry would use.
The bears thought they have found their comfort zone at the equities market, but the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed the week ended 19th July 2019 in positive territory, although marginal. The all-share index appreciated by 0.20% to close the week below the 28,000 basis points. Psychological level at 27,919.50 basis points. 274 million shares were traded in 2,966 deals that was valued at 2.844 billion naira. The top trades were UBA, Access and FBN Holdings. European stocks traded higher on Friday as market players increased their bids that the U.S. Federal Reserve will cut interest rates this month. Bosede Ebel reports.
Investors are optimistic on the outcome of interest rate later this month. European stocks traded higher on Friday, 20th July, as market players increased their chance the U.S. Federal Reserve will cut interest rates. Stocks in Asian market made strong gains as comments from a U.S. Federal Reserve official led to rising expectations the central bank could ease monetary policy more than expected. Nikkei added 2% to close at 21,466.99. Shanghai Composite rose 0.79% to 2,924.2. And the Hang Seng Index advanced 1.15% as of its final hour of trading. U.S. stock index futures continued to climb Friday morning after two influential Federal Reserve officials hinted at more aggressive policy easing from the central bank. Dow futures implies a positive open of around 90 points, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq futures were also seen higher. African stocks opened mixed. Nairobi All Share, Namibia Overall Index, and South Africa's GSA Top 40 advanced in early trading, while Ghana's GSA Composite and Tunisia's Tunidex depreciated.
And with that report, we wrap up this edition of Business Express. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube, and our Twitter handle is at NTA News Now. Remember to join us same time, same station next week, Monday. I am Muplang Dakok saying keep thinking and doing business.